Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal Saturday edition. It's all about mayhem here in the portal tonight, so I hope you guys are ready. Hope you're having a great weekend wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I really appreciate that you're doing at least now with us, so thank you so much for that. We of course, love the company, and it makes us feel warm and fuzzy and special, which is always important. It's been a rainy day here, but, you know, what do you do? I'm not alone here, though, ladies and gentlemen. I got my good friend and co-host here with me, Mr. Don Longbeard. Welcome, brother.
That's me again. Still, hopefully.
Still.
Hi, everybody.
How's everything in your world, brother?
Everything's just peachy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Peachy.
Peachy.
Well, good. Okay. Well, everything's peachy for me, too, and I hope it's all peachy out there as well. I know it's the Mayhem shows for me are a lot of fun, and I enjoy them a lot because it gives us a chance just to not stick with one topic all the way through. We can stick with whatever we want. We can take calls, and if you want to call in and be a part of the show, please feel free. If you have a paranormal experience of your own you'd like to share, if there's something you really felt like you wanted to talk about or ask, questions of either Don and myself, we'll do our best to answer what we can. But feel free to call in 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. And that's how you can get a hold of us. We would be happy to hear from you. What's going on? What?
So I look up and I'm like, what does it say? Who let Germer in again? And then I look down, it says, sweet Jesus. It's Tony Merkel is apparently, he's obviously our doorman tonight, not letting Mr. Sasquatch Chronicles in.
Merkel's the bouncer of the chat room tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So mind your P's and Q's. Mm-hmm. He's a capable man. That's all I'm going to say. But welcome to everybody, guys. I hope you guys are all doing great. We're going to cover a lot of different stuff tonight again, but I'm being redundant now, but I'm trying to think of what else I need to cover. Am I forgetting something, Don?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about podcasts and how that's going? And
that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
There's a reason you're in that chair.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what Don is mentioning, and if you're not already aware of it, the Paranormal Portal is now a podcast as well, and we are... special thanks, of course, to Revolver Podcast for making that possible. But we are on the podcast universe. We're trying to flex our paranormal muscles out there and make our prints known to the world. If you haven't checked it out, you can find it pretty much everywhere that you get podcasts. So if you get them from iTunes, you get them from Spotify, you can get them on Pandora, you can get them on Google Play. Don, any other names?
You can get them on Revolver.
Well, you can go to Revolver as well, but that's true. But wherever you get them, you can find us, and we've got several episodes out there, and these are largely brand new episodes, so it's new material out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just, it's a whole new venture for us, and we'd really appreciate your support.
Yes.
Special thank you again to Mr. Wes Germer for helping steer us on that path. I never even thought of it, and he said, hey, why aren't you on iTunes? And I'm like, I don't know.
We're on iHeartRadio, but we only stream live twice a week there.
Yeah, well, now we have, iHeart is another one. Thank you, Don. Mm-hmm. That was great. We have our own cool little Paranormal Portal tile there as well. They hung us a shingle up in the iHeart window, so we're all over the place. We're doing our best, so if you can help validate our presence out there in the podcast world, we'd really appreciate it. It's growing. It's doing good. I mean, people are checking it out, and the numbers are going up, so it's encouraging. But, we got a long road because we're the new kids on the block,
Oh, God,
Don't even go karaoke on me. Don't even do it.
No, I was just thinking about how I would looking like Donnie Wahlberg.
50 pounds heavier and a full beard, I guess.
But rich and handsome.
Yeah, well, there is that. Yeah, that's not all bad, I guess. But yeah, that's of course something worth mentioning. Thanks, Don. But
Yes, I'm sure Donnie Wahlberg likes it too.
no, not the new
Oh,
kids on the
that
block
one.
thing. I'm talking about the podcasting stuff.
Gotcha.
Thanks for helping fill in my blanks. And the older I get, the more blanks I've got. So it's a good thing you're here.
You're not much older than I am, pal.
Well, I know, but the power of youth, I guess. I don't know. Once that clock ticks that number, it's just like, God, there's no going back. I'm now this age, But and it's so weird because, my body, it's obviously a work of science fiction all by itself. But, in my head, I'm still 18. It's weird. I don't know. I thought at some point when you got older, like you
You're
started,
supposed to mature.
you started knowing stuff and you become a pillar of society or something. Well,
whatever.
that still hasn't hit. I don't know how many candles you need for that to take effect, but I could be a special case.
Yeah, you'd have to have so many candles they call the fire department.
Yeah, well, probably.
Hey, this house burning down next door. Oh no, that's just his birthday cake.
Yeah. There could be that.
God.
That could be the case. But we're gonna get into all kinds of cool stuff. So right off the bat, let's. I found something, ladies and gentlemen, that disturbed me to my very core.
Oh gosh. Yes.
And I hadn't heard of this. And now this isn't brand new. This story actually comes from 2016, but it's still as disturbing today as it was, I'm sure, in 2016 when it came out. And the story is a headline from the HuffPost that says, Bobby Brown is the latest celeb to claim having sex with a ghost.
I don't know how you find these stories, man.
I don't know either. And it's, it's kind of it's a lot disturbing. And here's the thing, a lot of people look up to their celebrities and stuff. And I mean, Bobby Brown probably hasn't been a celebrity since the 80s or whenever, or 90s, whenever that was happening. But, he's still out there, but I guess he's going for attention again because he's claiming to have had lots of sex with a ghost, which, I know the thing is, and I'm being tongue in cheek, of course, but there are claims of this out there, and I don't understand it. I don't know. I never would have guessed that ghosts would do booty calls. I really didn't think that was going to ever happen. I mean, really, it's like they're not in a body. So how does that work? You know what I mean?
I ain't got no.
Right. Well. But that's just the strange stuff. These claims are out there, and I don't get it. So I'm going to read this to you guys because I think it deserves the airplay that it on this of all episodes. Of course, it fits right in. So, if Bobby Brown wants to say he's had sex with a ghost, that's his prerogative.
Ah!
Boom. That's not my joke. It's from the HuffPost. That's their joke. During his 2020 interview Tuesday night, which is back in 2016, I guess, the former New Edition singer told a story about a very bizarre experience involving a ghost. Here's his quotes, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't be held responsible for anything you hear from this point on, so just so you know.
Yeah, that disclaimer should be on every episode.
Well, it should be. In fact, I might put it on the comments and on our YouTube channel. I bought this mansion in Georgia. This is a really, really spooky place. And he says, but yes, one time I woke up and a ghost. I was being mounted by a ghost.
It's a banshee.
Oh my God. So I imagine he would probably got up and beat the hell out of it, but sorry, that was cheap and free.
Oh God.
Brown didn't go into detail about his supernatural sex session, but such as when it happened, but he emphasized he was completely sober when he did the deed. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Maybe he was. I don't know. I wasn't high, Brown said. I was not tripping. Brown isn't the first celebrity to claim that they got down with a ghost. And it goes on to say, in April 2014, Ukrainian-born actress Natasha Blazik, I don't know how you pronounce that, but scared up a lot of publicity after claiming she had sex with a ghost on 2 occasions. So, and found the experiences, oh dear God, really, really pleasurable. So, I don't know, I guess if you have no sex life, some sex life is better than none, but I don't know. This is really strange stuff, and I can't get my head around it. It's like, what's the game here? And I mean, they have no nerves or
Apparently somebody has
anatomy,
some nerve.
anatomy or anything. I mean, it's not like I don't know. I guess there's so much questions here, but very, very, very creepy and weird.
We've talked about how they manifest. Ghosts can manifest.
they
so,
can.
I mean, maybe they can. We'll just leave that one hanging in the ether.
Well, sure. And apparently they can manifest all kinds of things. I mean, I know they could appear however they wanted to, but I don't know. This is very strange. I guess honestly, if I think about it, being sexual is a very energetic act too. It really is. It's not just physical. I mean, it really is. It has like emotional energy and all that stuff. So I can understand that. And I guess if you're going to have a ghost like taking some of your energy, that's probably the best way to go, rather than drawing from your skull or something like that. But I don't know. You know what I mean? But
yeah, everybody's mentioning the succubus.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Succubus, incubus, for sure. This is not a new phenomenon, but it says she said the first time it happened was when she was alone in her room, which is probably the best time for it to happen if it's going to. It's
The only thing
she wasn't having dinner or something.
the only other thing you'd want in that room is a camera to prove it.
Well, yeah.
Picture it didn't happen.
I was laying in bed, and then I felt something enter the room, but I couldn't see anybody, she said, according to the mirror. She could feel that somebody was touching me. It says I could feel that somebody was touching me, and the hands were pushing me against my will, and I could feel the weight of the body on top of me. I couldn't see anybody, but I could feel the pressure. The energy was the warmth. No. It says pushing in different directions. She added, I enjoyed it. Well, there's that. It says it wasn't a one-night stand either. The kinky ghost returned for a second romp
Kinky ghost.
a month later. Well, there you have it. In September 2012, it says Keisha aroused lots of publicity with her newly released single Supernatural.
Right, Keisha,
when she told Ryan Seacrest the song was inspired by a Randy romp with a male ghost. So apparently this stuff's happening all the time.
Wow. If I experience a ghost, sign me up for that particular. Come on, might as well make it good.
Well, there is, I guess that's probably true, but wow. So it's about experiences with the supernatural, but in a sexy way, she told Seacrest. I had a couple of experiences with the supernatural, but I don't know his name. He was a ghost. I'm very open to it, apparently. Sorry, that was cheap and free as well. Alexandra Holter, a ghost researcher with the Huffington Post blogger, said that there had been reports of people having sex, but says it feels heavy but not so hot. I don't know. The people who report having sex with a ghost report feeling pressure on them and even penetration, but ghosts don't have warmth. Holzer told HuffPost, when they're in the room, it's a very cold environment. So there's that, ladies and gentlemen. That's topping off our show tonight. And that's going to be a tough one to follow, John. That's not an easy act to follow. I'm just going to say this. But
No, that's true.
I did want to say this, though. This is actually something I'm kind of excited about. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're familiar with the old TV show Taps, Ghost Hunters, it was the Taps crew, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, that had Jason Hawes and Grant. Why am I not remember his name? But Jason, Grant, and a bunch of other people that kind of came and go through the seasons. But it was a great ghost hunting show, and I really liked their approach a lot. I think they did a really good job because they weren't sensational, they weren't over the top, they weren't yelling and screaming, and I mean, it was just really composed, and I thought that it was, every episode at least was presented in a pretty realistic way, at least plausible. Like any show, I mean, it's probably subject to creative editing and stuff, but I think they represented the material very well, and they always kept their composure. There was never any, hey, let's get out of here, There was never any of that. It wasn't a lot of running and screaming stuff. It was just hi, my name's Grant. This is my friend Jay, and we're blah blah blah.
And that's Aaron.
Well, no, that's Ghost Adventures,
Well, I understand. But
which is
still.
which is another end of the spectrum. However, Ghost Adventures has done a better job, I think, in more recent years. When they first came out, they were doing all kinds of weird stuff, a lot of flaky stuff, and not just in their approach. I mean, not
Right.
that they didn't catch valid evidence and stuff, but it was just really kind of over the top. So. But the good news is, unfortunately, the bad news is that TAPS Ghost Hunters was off the air. I think their last episode was 2016 or 2015 or something, maybe earlier than that. But the good news is apparently in fall of 2019 they're coming back. It doesn't look like Grant's going to be part of the show, but it's going to be Jason Hawes and Dave Tango and what's his name? The other guy, and I should remember it because I always remember his name, but nobody else's. I can't remember it for my life right now, but coming out this fall in 2019, and it's going to be called Ghost Nation, and it'll be on the Travel Channel as well, which is the channel that has Ghost Adventures. So apparently, the Travel Channel's becoming the Paranormal Channel. I mean, really.
Well, that's okay.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great.
yeah.
It's fantastic. I have nothing against that, and I think if the shows are done well. That's cool, and they do cover a lot of cool sites and locations, and I think that again, I think TAPS always did a great job. So I was really excited to see they were going to be back out again in some form, even though it's not the Jason Grant coupling, which I always thought was really good. But Steve Gonsalves is the other guy's name. That's right, and I don't know. But then again, Grant left before the last show ended anyway. So I don't know what was going on there, if there was some kind of drama or if it was just, he just wanted to move on to something else. He'd done that enough. I don't know. But he's not coming back for this one, it doesn't look like. So very cool. Good news. If you're into that, I think it should be worth watching. But we'll find out. But we've got to wait till fall to see it.
There you go.
So I just wanted to state that news because that was just announced recently. As a matter of fact. So, what did you got, Don?
Well, I was trying to find some interesting things about like the correlations between quantum physics and paranormal, but everything was so sciencey. I mean, okay, there's a lot of science, and I mean,
quantum
whatever.
Physics, yeah.
But I mean, it's like half the words in there I'm not smart enough to pronounce. So I decided to go with vortexes.
Oh, there you go. By all means.
So this is just kind of some vortexes and where they, anyhow. Some vortexes or vortices, like a few locations in Sedona, Arizona, are reported to promote a sense of well-being to those that are in tune with its energies. This type of vortex is called an energy vortex.
Okay.
Other types of vortex claims includes paranormal portals that act as doorways to the afterlife.
Yes, we do, apparently.
And other dimensions. I think that fits pretty well. Vortexes at convergence of ley lines, sites of ancient rituals like Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, and Chichen Itza, vortexes associated with crop circles, USO and USO activity. What have visitors experienced at vortex sites? They've experienced well-being, rejuvenation, relaxation, insight, spiritual awareness, energy flows, electricity flows, tingling. I think those are all related in some way. Emotional healing. Oh, there's an interesting one. Mm-hmm. Physical healing, intense emotion. Yeah. Spiritual awareness, tranquility, sense of self and inner being. Joy, awe, visions, universal connections. I like this one. Paranormal activity. Uh-huh. Go figure. Crop circles and UFOs. Possible explanations for vortexes. Earth's magnetic fields, ley lines, unknown types of energy, other dimensions, limestone deposits, sacred grounds, and extraterrestrials.
Ooh.
Yeah, wow. Other vortex theories. Juniper trees twist in presence of an energy vortex. A man-made vortex can be created.
Sure.
I think that's the whole what man-made means.
No, and
Vortexes can
there could be natural vortices as well.
well, yeah,
Vortexes.
vortexes can flow up from the earth or inward,
Mm-hmm.
so it can go up or down. Ooh, that tie in nicely with the hollow earth theory.
Oh,
Especially when Barry called the other day and said that the Bigfoots were big feets
yes. Yeah. Well,
were coming up from under the ground, from
right.
underneath.
Uh-huh.
So maybe there's a vortex that they're catching, like an escalator.
I that's a possibility.
That's kind of just a scary possibility.
I
still.
mean, for that whole idea though, you gotta, and for me, this is a tough one. I'll just be honest about this. It's tough to imagine, what that means for this. I don't know, these wild men. And I think they're intelligent. Don't get me wrong, but are they intelligent enough to use a vortex to get somewhere? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I would be intelligent enough to go, hey, I wonder where that goes.
Hey, let's jump in there.
Let's send Don through to see where that goes.
Why is Don the bait? Good God. Okay.
Well, someone's got to go. Someone's got to take one for the team, and I'd rather it was you.
You look closer to a Sasquatch than I do. Get in
That's
there.
right. They'll probably just adopt you.
Oh, look at the cute little hairless one.
Yeah. Look at the naked squatch.
Look at him. Does he eat bunnies?
Yeah, well, I think he does probably.
Well,
But you know what I mean. So are there vortices that go from inner Earth to outer Earth? Maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting idea, but I don't know. I try to think of how smart are these things like Sasquatch.
Right. Yeah.
How smart are they? Could they have all this stuff dialed in? Could they see these portals and vortices and utilize them? I mean, I really do believe that they use the underground caverns and stuff, and that of course, that's been shared on the show many times, and through a lot of my research, there's lots of people out there that believe that they are a subterranean species largely, and they traverse great distances by going through extinct lava tubes and all that, and that's really cool and interesting. But then when you start talking about portals, it's like, well, can a physical body go through a portal, or does it have to be a spiritual body, or what? I don't know.
Right.
That's the part where I don't know. Is it like the transporter on Star Trek at that point? Or, you know what I mean? It's
Beam him up, Scotty.
right. So is it like a wormhole in space where it just kind of boom, you're in a different part all of a sudden? I don't know. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
Keep
No,
going.
it's the point of getting that conversation going. Shell Dion's in the chat. She
Hey,
says
Shell.
smart enough to, she says she says you should do a show with her about that.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
She says smart enough to change weather, telepathy, dream time, and energy.
Right.
So yeah. Nicholas says, I guess in a way a dream would be a portal. Yes, I absolutely agree that a dream could be a portal. So yeah, that would be a man-made portal. So
Right.
vortex hunting. Some vortexes are located in dangerous areas. Other vortexes are reported to present dangers of their own. Before embarking on an investigation, prepare yourself by researching the vortex and the location. That seems like a kind of a duh to me, Vortexes can be located in areas that require hiking or climbing. Do not attempt to investigate a vortex unless you can safely access the area. I was watching a video last night before Paisley's show. Paranormal Files? I think it was Paranormal Files.
Oh, okay.
But he was talking about the Superstition Mountains down in Arizona. And he was talking about, the caves and how he won't go into that particular mountain range alone anymore. And he's been, solo hiking for a couple decades now. And he was going through, and as he was talking, I'm like, he reports that there are caves and all kinds of things, and they're sacred ground and paranormal things that happen, and that's part of the reason he won't go. I wonder if that's hooked to and at the beginning of this report here, it said that Sedona, Arizona is just massive with vortexes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the area that he
Yeah.
was talking about.
Right.
So you think dangerous? No, no, they just find headless bodies.
Well, now here's another thing. I remember it was the Hopi Indians that talked about the insect people or
Right.
something that lived in the earth and took them underground to
Right.
save them from a deluge and
Right.
save their whole civilization or their whole society. And it makes you think: was there some kind of portal in effect that they used to do that? I don't know. I mean, the thing is anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Pack accordingly when investigating in remote areas outdoor. That means take food. Bring along a GPS device. But here's the thing: if there's a vortex, isn't there a good possibility that a vortex would mess up a GPS device?
I would think so. Probably.
It says a compass. Well, once again, we're talking paranormal. Compasses probably will not work. You should certainly take a map, water, food, clothing, batteries. Well, there's another thing. Here's the thing, though. When you get near vortices, I've always been told that, electronics in general are pretty much useless and anything with a magnet.
Well, maybe, but I think the point is that you're going to go through it and be out of it again, and maybe on the other side of it, all that stuff would work.
Yeah, but what if you're in Bizarro World when you get to the other side and everything's backwards?
I don't know.
I'm heading north. Actually, you're heading south. You're in Bizarro World. What?
Oh, it's time for a
Wow.
break, ladies and gentlemen. The time is flying on the portal, but don't go away. We'll be back for more of our Bizarro World right here on the Paranormal Portal.
is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the portal in the second half hour. Can you believe it?
Wow.
That first half hour just blew by. That was pretty intense. I think we're in a vortex of our own. It's a portal. Yeah, of course it's a portal, but and I got to tell you, Don, as I've this ghost app was really busy for a long time, right?
Right.
Ever since I've saged and cleansed and stuff, nothing. It's just flatlined. Now watch it just jump off and make me look stupid. But
Well, it's because I haven't been here.
now again, yeah, well, that's true. You usually drag things with you. But the idea, ladies and gentlemen, is I don't really subscribe wholeheartedly to the idea that this speaks words that are relevant or detects presences that are accurate. But I think it detects something. I think that every wireless device has what's called a magnetometer, and that's why there are things like Ghost Radar, and there's more and more hoax apps than there are valid apps. But this is allegedly one of the valid ones, and as I've stated before, it's quite old, but it still works, so I'm still using it. But I think that it's pretty interesting though that it had been so active, and then I saged and did all that stuff. And really, it hasn't done a thing since, not even a blurb. So I find that really interesting that, if anything, it does seem to demonstrate that things like saging and such do knock down those energies.
Sure.
At least they tend, it looks like they kind of moderate them and take some of the peaks and valleys out of it or something. But it's been real quiet now for several days. So it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts, but maybe that'll be my barometer to when it's time to sage. Now, that's just for this app. That doesn't mean the weirdness has stopped here in the portal.
It just means that app isn't picking it up.
And full disclosure, when I sage and when I cleanse, I always do it with the admonition that, nothing dark and evil can stay. Only light and good can stay. But if weird things happen, that may not be negative. So I'm not kicking everything out when I'm doing it. I'm just saying, hey, if you're dark and you're ugly and you want to cause harm or cause problems, you're not welcome here. You must leave. But I always leave it open to good things because I think it's good to have good things around. But I do think it's an interesting correlation. That just occurred to me now as we were coming back on. The thing's been quiet, but then I did just sage and cleanse, and so maybe that's a valid demonstration that there really is something profound to those practices. Like they actually do something,
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Just my thoughts on that, but I really think it's powerful stuff. And again, it all follows the idea that if you believe in something, if you have faith in something, whatever you have faith in, it's that faith that makes it powerful.
Right.
Not that it's not a power unto itself, and I'm not meaning to, disassociate the idea of divine power, but I'm saying that the connection is through us. We are the conduit for that divine power in whatever form you acknowledge to become potent in your life. And that conduit is by virtue of faith, I think anyway.
Yeah.
Does that
makes
make
perfect sense? Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I don't mean to ever imply that there isn't a divine power without that. I believe wholeheartedly there is, but I think that connection is from us.
Right.
And that there is always a divine connection, don't get me wrong, but we empower that so much more by our faith and bring it in. We we manifest it in our lives through our faith. Maybe that's the best way to say it. And I'm not advocating any one kind of spirituality over another. Whatever works for you, works for you. You know, the portal's never going to be about, you know, telling you what to believe or how to believe.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But I do think that having some kind of belief is important. So just my ideas, just my thoughts. So were you done with that?
Well, there was actually more, but, you know, I wanted to respond real quick to a question.
Okay.
I think it was Nicholas said, well, what's the difference between a portal and a vortex? And I think this is, where'd it go? Oh, I love it. Yeah, don't you just love the show on the spot?
I love it when things go sideways.
So here's the basic, as nouns, the difference between portal and vortex is that a portal is a grandiose and often lavish entrance, like us, while a vortex is a whirlpool, whirlwind, or similar moving matter in the form of a spiral or a column. So think of a vortex as a pool of energy that's, you know, swirling around.
That's all the sound effects we can afford here on the
That's
portal.
it. Yeah, it's like, sorry. And then the portal being, well, you know.
And these are special effects, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, this is it. No, this is not Danielson.
Wax on, wax off. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say it, but okay. But then the portal, like us, is grandiose and lavish as an entrance. So we need to build. Well, anyhow, but but I just read something else that said a portal.
You sound like my wife now.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, I'd really like a nice cupboard there.
You've really got to redecorate that studio.
She doesn't come in here much.
No,
It's far too
she
much
knows it's a
disarray.
portal.
No, not because of that. Because she just you're such a mess.
I've got to clean up in here.
What you can't see on, ladies and gentlemen, is on the other side of the cameras.
Is
That's
the
where
music studio.
That's where the piles are and the studio is. Yeah, the music side of it.
But I also just read that. So think about this though. So if a vortex is a spiraling mass of energy,
Okay.
wouldn't you think a portal would need a vortice to power it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's the
Maybe.
maybe
that's
true.
the connection.
Could be.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't pretend to know enough about that to even have an opinion, to be honest with you. I've never even thought about the difference before until just right now, and that's an interesting question.
So there
Good
you go.
question, Nick. Thank you for bringing that to the show. Duke just came in, by the way. Hello, Duke. Good
Hello,
to see
Duke.
you, brother.
Hey, you know what? You want to do a shout out?
Yeah, why don't you go through the list and see who's here?
Let's see here. Let's see if I can get a good list
Let's
here.
acknowledge.
I don't
Let me
have
go
a
through
lot.
the TFR.
Okay.
I'm in there. Lucky's in there. TFR Wookie's in there. Hilarious Naysay's in TFR. Don, you're there.
I'm there.
Daryl's there. Free Energy 13's there. Curious Citizen is in there. Good to see you all.
good. Excellent.
And thank you guys for listening. Those of you on TFR.
There you go.
And
So on YouTube, and this is just a small list, but there's so many more people. We got Duke and Gemini and Joe Kukowski. I hope I said that right. Got Kenneth, Many Musings, Nicholas Williams. We've got Paranormal Portal, Randall Electric, and Shell Dion. But of course, there's Gemini in there, and there's a whole lot of people that weren't in that
the
list. So.
Confessionals, Mr. Merkel
Yes,
is around somewhere.
and Mr. Wes
Mr.
Germer
Wes
from
Germer.
Sasquatch Chronicles.
Yep.
Suzanne just popped in.
Yay.
Let's see here. But there's so many more people. They only show me a little tiny.
I know that
cut
list
of
is broken. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know what I
A
can't-
lot of things are broken around here.
You know what's funny is that I usually have the ability to do a pop-out chat. Oh, now it's there.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
never mind. I can't.
Oh, shout out to MCAT. He's just listening. I think he's driving again tonight.
Oh, okay.
Bama
Gotcha.
Bigfoot's here. Of course, Lewis is here. So
Lewis.
there
Good
you
to see
go.
you,
A couple
Lewis.
more. Kez Ken. That's a new name to me.
Uh-huh.
So that's awesome. New people. Love new people. Orange County Girl's here. She's just listening, though.
When we say your name, just raise your hand, please.
Just raise your hand. Oh, and Lucky's in here, too. So,
Oh, very cool.
yeah, so Lucky's doing double time, TFR and YouTube. So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great crowd. Thank you guys for being here, all of you. Thanks for validating our presence.
I need validation.
validation.
Ooh, donuts.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of in a Homer mood tonight, so I just got to pull it out every once in a while because it's been a while.
Oh my God.
What?
Nothing.
You don't like the homers?
No, it was the pull it out comment.
Oh, Jesus.
Vortex
What are you,
hunting
like
tips.
seventh grade or what?
Vortex hunting tips. This guy over here.
All right.
Hunt vortexes in groups of 2 or more. Marshall, Will, and Holly like to go in groups of 3.
Ooh. Yeah.
Tell someone where you're going and when you intend to return.
Land of Lost reference for those of you who don't understand that.
Respect the environment. Now that's kind of a dub, but yeah, because you don't know what kind of things that may have been before. Maybe sacred ground, whatnot. You always respect. Pack in, pack out. That's all there is to it. Leave a vortex site in the same condition as when you entered. Get permission before investigating on personal property. Good vortex hunters are skeptical but have an open mind. Increase the validity of a vortex with the right equipment and by documenting your experience with pictures and video. So, there's actually a vortex map.
Really?
Yeah. Here, let me send that to you real quick.
Yeah, let's see that. We can
pull
put that up on the screen for our viewers. If you're looking for a vortex near you,
Coming to a vortex near you, the Paranormal Portal.
well, we're already out there. But
That's true.
You don't even need a vortex. You just need the interwebs.
Internet connection.
Yeah. Did you
Okay,
send
it's not. Well, it's not really a.
It's not a map.
No, it's just a bunch of people saying, "Yeah, here's some vortex here, and there's a vortex there." And,
okay.
there's yeah. It's,
I'm gonna do a search and see if there's a vortex map. I don't know. You'd think we would have heard about it.
These
before.
are all actually new too. These are April 2019. Wow.
Okay. And people are identifying these by using compasses and things like that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Well, it's like good morning.
What kind of vortex would I say? Like a energy
spiritual vortex.
Spiritual vortex. Okay, thank you.
That's what we're looking for.
I'm trying
paranormal vortex.
I'm trying to Google here. Spiritual
I
vortex.
What? Big Bend? What?
Map.
That's in. Good morning. That's in Terralingua, Texas.
Big Bend.
Yeah, Big Bend.
Okay. So I got the Sedona thing coming up, of
There
course,
you go.
first. But I think the Sedona vortexes are probably the most popular. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I've heard
definitely that.
I've heard of them. Okay, images for spiritual vortex map. All right, let me pull that up and see if we can find something.
And how many ley lines? Those are ley lines right there.
What?
Aren't those? Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. It says 10 vile vortexes around the world. What the hell is that?
Vile vortexes, like
Yeah, it
VILE.
It's from Bible Apocalypse.
Oh, gotcha.
Or Bible something tech. I don't know how the hell to say that name. Let's see. This is vortexes in the United States.
Oh,
Free USA vortex map. Okay, let's go visit this, and I'll pull it up on the screen.
boy, this is kind of really a mayhem show tonight.
Well, it's kind of important.
Farmer's Vortex Almanac. Randall,
Where the hell
that's
I
awesome.
thought they had a map. This just is another list. That's not. That was
Yeah.
false advertising. That was
Yes.
clickbait. That was some clickbait right there. It says view. Learn more at vortexes.com. Vortexhunters.com. Is that where you're at, by the way? Vortex Hunters?
You know what? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. That's probably the same one that
Okay. Here's a map.
I would actually like to see a map.
I see this. It says, I wonder if I can blow it up or what. I can't seem to do much
With
of it.
enough dynamite, you can blow anything up. It's the best way to catch fish.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, I guess I can put this up. It's really a tiny, dinky map, but in any case,
Oh.
I'll put it up and we can look at it as well as it'll appear on screen. There's the monitor. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently a map, and this, of course, would be the Sedona area, right? This big yellow blotch.
Yeah, I would say so.
No, is this the Bermuda Triangle out here? Is that what's going on here?
Yes.
Okay, so the Bermuda Triangle, and I wish I could make this bigger. What the hell? You know what I mean? Why is this so dinky?
That's what she said.
Oh my God, Don. Jeez. I have to get you some counseling or something, dude. Something really broken in your head. So there's a bunch here on the East Coast. There's like 3 or 4. there's I don't know my geography. I'm very geographically challenged, so I know. Is this Alabama or something? Don, do you know your states?
No, I'm geographically challenged.
Okay, well the ones above Florida, there's two of them there. I'm sorry.
The one's above one's Georgia,
Okay, Georgia. And,
so the other one has to be Alabama.
Okay, we're gonna go with that, ladies and
Alabama.
gentlemen. However,
Wow.
we are probably terribly embarrassing ourselves. And I remember being a kid, and they'd always hand out the map like this and say, "Okay, go," and I'd get like 15 of them. I never did learn them all. I know this is Oklahoma, right here. And
Because it looks like a hatchet.
no, not because of that, but because it's right above Texas. And I spend a lot of time on the USGS site from time to time, and it shows active earthquake zones and stuff. And I'm here to tell you that Oklahoma is going crazy, but I think it's because of fracking, to be honest with you. I think there's a ton of fracking in Oklahoma.
Sorry.
And I see in this very zone, that's very interesting, because in this very zone, let me see if I can pull that up. Oh, let's see if I got it on my desktop. Sorry, guys. I just decided to take this quick detour. I got all these damn things on my desktop. I'm going to try to find the USGS earthquake map, and I want to show you because that's pretty interesting that it's almost a direct overlay to. I can't believe it's not there. Where is it? I know it's here. Oh God, I got a link for David Wilcox.
Oh
I gotta
God.
delete that. Hold on.
No, thankfully it's not David Wilcox. There's only one of them. It's David Wilcock.
Okay.
No, really, that's his name.
Oh, I don't know.
That's his name.
I thought it was an X at the end. Sorry. No offense, of course. Yeah, it's just, where the hell is that? Okay, I got to Google it. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, in my lack of planning.
That's okay. Apparently, I'm supposed to say Orange County girl. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Orange County girl.
USGS earthquakes. Oh, I should have done earthquake. Derp. Earthquake maps. There we go. I'm going to pull this up. Because now I'm kind of curious if there's where's the actual page? This is a Google link. Oh, here we go. Hazards program. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Oh.
All right. So let me pull this over as well. Now, this is the USGS page. And
Oh, yeah. There's a couple things going on there.
so there's Oklahoma. And there's always, if you look on the USGS page, this shows you any and all earthquakes around the face of the world that are recorded in real time. So you can see that, I don't know how they're measuring the time. I keep having to change this setting because it's using the UTC time, and I don't know what the hell that is.
Universal time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the universal time. But there's Oklahoma there.
Is it the same time here as it is, say, on Mars, if it's universal?
I don't know. I don't know. So this is Oklahoma, but there's a lot of fracking going on, and sometimes you'll see absolute clusters of these. Now these are pretty small. They're like 3.6 magnitude. This one is 2.5 magnitude, and you can click on these. So I love this site. Actually, really bizarre, but I'm going to share this with you guys.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm going to talk about the fact that we have earthquakes here.
We do. It's crazy.
Yes. So here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the tip of Idaho where Don and I are. Is that coming on screen correctly? Okay. And this is called Lake Ponderay. And this is a huge inland lake. It's
awesome.
like over 1,000 feet deep in several places. This is a beautiful area. This really is a beautiful area. But there was how big was that earthquake? Like
It was only like
two. Was it a 2 point something?
Two like 1 or 2 something like
Yeah,
that.
I think it was 2.3 now that we're talking about
Yeah,
it.
I think it was.
But
April
it was
15th.
right in here now. Where the hell's... Okay, so my house is like right over here. And I don't know where it was in here, but it was like 4 kilometers away from my location.
Right, so it'd be right over. It'd be like in there.
Right in here?
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, that shook. I mean, I was sitting upstairs in this very chair, and it felt like somebody grabbed the back of my chair and shook it. It was like, what in the hell is going on? It was just like this. It was like, I looked around. Now, my wife is from Indonesia. She knew exactly what it was because they have stuff happening over there all the time as far as tremors and stuff. In fact, here's Indonesia down in here, and it's always got dots going on here. So, no. Is that it? No, this is not it. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
Sorry,
not Indonesia.
I'm on the wrong part of the
That's
globe.
like Cuba or the
Yeah,
Dominican Republic, one or the other. Sorry, he apologizes.
I did say that I was geographically challenged. However, this is Indonesia and here, all around here, and into these areas as well. Part of Papua New Guinea is cut in half, and this is all Indonesia. So it's actually a big country. But there's always things going on, of course, because this is the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Now, what I find interesting is that vortex map shows Oklahoma as a vortex place, right?
Oh.
So that was my curiosity there, is if there was any correlation to quake zones and these vortexes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting.
So, but I'm not really seeing much on the East Coast. This is almost Arizona, but there, of course, there's San Andreas, California, and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It was just curious to me, so I thought I'd share that a little bit and maybe find something interesting there. I thought it was interesting.
Shell just said, I wonder if the booms we constantly have are due to fracking, even though they supposedly they're not supposedly fracking. And somebody else said something about that the other day too. Or I remember reading something. Somebody postulated that. They asked that question.
Okay.
I wonder if those booms that people are hearing around the world are like, due to fracking or hollow earth. I think that's what it was. Somehow I was talking about hollow earth, and somebody was talking about or brought up the idea of maybe it's those booms that we're hearing around the different parts of the globe or hemisplane, whichever, are from the inner earth,
That's interesting. That's a good point. I don't know. Very interesting, but I just don't, I don't know enough about fracking to have a real educated opinion, but it just seems to me that a lot of weird stuff has come because of fracking. And I think anytime you mess with the natural balance of things, you're asking for problems. And, of course, we've seen the pictures of ponds that have like flaming bubbles coming out of them because of the methane that's being released from deep underground in a steady stream. And then people's taps are all terribly muddy and it's screwing up the water tables. So I don't know. That kind of stuff scares me, to be honest with you. Is it just me or no?
No, because that's another question though, is because if we're doing all this and they're these, they're stirring up all this stuff and they're unbalancing the natural order of nature, is it opening other vortexes or portals from other places? Is it part of a conspiracy?
I don't know.
You think?
Don't get us demonetized.
No, but I mean, maybe there's something, I don't know. Maybe the aliens are trying to, find a terraform. You were talking about terraforming the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a form. It's a step to terraforming the earth into whatever they can live in.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, it's spooky stuff, man. Once you start messing with nature, everything goes sideways.
Yes, it does.
We kind of need that stuff. We need that natural stuff to be in balance and working correctly. Because when it's not, then we get things like muddy tap water and methane bubbles all over the place. Yeah. I don't know, but I guess we got to worry more about cows and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because they fart so much. Cows are just killing. Somebody else said something. God, I random associations. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, Duke's saying the Giants also live underground.
Yeah.
And they tunnel. Yeah, I suppose they probably can.
Do they use dynamite?
No, I think they just use their
TNT.
They just bring the guns.
They just bring the guns. They are the gun show.
Yeah, that's right. They got the gun. They got the gun show.
How to test a vortex. Different vortexes require different types of testing methods. Mm-hmm. Traditional test equipment devices can be ineffective in sensing the unknown energies claimed to be present at some vortexes. Often the best evidence of a vortex is how people feel when they are in one. Monitor the body's reaction to a vortex using a device that can measure heart rate, electrodermal activity, and brain waves. Digital video camera for videos and pictures. Duh. Your pictures and videos should inspire others to visit and guide them to your vortex. I think that'd be like, huckleberries and morel patches. You don't want people going there. Those are our special places. Remember that time we were down at the Sedona? Yeah, she was so romantic. Dowsing rods or pendulums. Some claim that dowsing rods and divining rods or pendulums can locate vortexes.
Oh,
Compass. Small changes in compass readings could point to a vortex.
right. I thought you already read this.
No, this is different. This is.
Oh, it is?
This
Okay.
is farther down. Yeah, this is how to detect them.
What was the other one? Oh, things to bring with?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I could only.
That's okay. That's all right. What?
I'm paying attention.
Vortex antennas. Energy plates claim to aid in the investigation of the effects of energy, known or unknown. So a vortex antenna. Medicine wheels. Some people say that medicine wheels can help make you more receptive to vortex energy. Animals. It's claimed that birds can become disoriented in a vortex, or that cats may be able to sense vortexes. Scientific equipment. Although vortexes have not been detected by standard equipment, scientific measuring devices can eliminate other causes of vortex-like experiences, like high EMF.
That can also be ghosts, by the way.
Well, yeah, that puts the paranormal in it. I like how they said that. It actually says like a high EMF field. Isn't EMF field? What?
You're going to have to hold that
my
thought,
goodness.
Mr. Longbeard, because we are going to the hour break, ladies and gentlemen. That's how quickly time flies in our portal. So we'll be right back, everybody. Don't go away. We got a lot more of this weird stuff coming up right after the break. So we'll be right back.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid toy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well dressed.
Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. Caroline is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hour number 2 is now officially commencing. So I hope you had a good break, got to the loo, got a drink, made yourself comfortable, and are ready to go. Special shout out to my cousin Jules, who just called me over the break and said, "Hey, good show, I'm listening." And it's always cool. That's always cool to know that family's taking an interest, you know. So shout out to you, brother. Drive safe, and hope your evening goes well. So anyway, we kind of interrupted you, Don, right up to that point. So
I'm pretty used to it.
Are you feeling a little slighted? I can't control the clock, Don. I
Whatever.
can control a lot of things, but the clock so far is beyond me. But where were we at?
Oh, no.
Did you close something else?
No.
Oh.
Virginia says she has a story.
Oh. No.
Never mind.
Oh, no.
Let's see here. So where was I? I was okay. Here we are.
Those are kind of racy, and I really, honest to God, when I'm doing the bedtime stories, I really steer away from those. They come up in the bedtime stories list of things that I find, but I always avoid them because it's like
Some of them are just like pornographic.
right, and I really want this to be like a family show. I did talk about Bobby Brown, but that was really just because it was Bobby Brown, and that actually cracked me up because I don't know the guy, so I shouldn't be so harsh on him. But it's just like I kind of just think, well, he seems like kind of a train wreck. So it was just humorous, but please bear that in mind if you're going to share stories of a racy nature. To keep them family friendly. That's all I'm going to say.
Keep
all
them
right.
PG.
So anyway, go ahead, brother.
So it says take a magnetometer. A magnetometer is used to map the Earth's magnetic field. Mm-hmm. A digital audio recorder can be used in paranormal investigations to capture EVPs.
It's the beard, ladies and gentlemen. It gets heavy on his lower lip, and it screws up the enunciation from time to time.
It does, yeah. It's horrible. Temperature measurement, infrared thermal cameras, and handheld infrared surface and ambient temperature sensors to detect changes in the environment, such as cold spots, which sounds like ghost hunting.
It really does, yeah.
Which some believe accompany paranormal activity.
Wow.
Maybe next time I should finish the sentence.
No, well, it's good that you're on the same track. Great minds and all.
Geiger counter to measure fluctuations in radiation, which some believe will point to the disturbances in spirit energy. Ion meters to detect an excess of negative ions, which some feel are associated to paranormal activity.
No, I don't really know what those are. Ion meters. I can't say I've ever heard of anybody using an ion meter. I'll have to look into that. That's a new term for me.
Motion sensors to detect anomalous movement within a given area, or to assist in creating a controlled environment where any human movement is detected. That sounds like anti-contamination to me. Air quality monitoring equipment to assess the levels of gases such as carbon monoxide, which are thought to contribute to reports of paranormal activity, kind of like the oracles of Delphi. And okay,
No, go ahead and tell me. I know what the oracles of Delphi were. But...
so they were put in these. So there were these girls that were tested by the elders and ancients, and
Okay.
and then they were put into these caves, and you had to traverse this and that and get to them, and a lot of the times they were found. The reason they seem to be spaced out all the time is because some of the caves that they believe were oracle caves actually had natural gases, methanes and things like this, but other things as well. And they would be tripping when you get there. They'd be just out of their brain, tripping.
Wow.
And so, like, when you watch, like, 300 is a perfect one. When Leonidas crawls up there and he gets up there and he talks to the wise men, they send him in to talk to the oracle. The oracle's in there floating in this with this gown. And yeah, I could imagine that's about the way they'd feel.
Sure. Okay.
But, you know, there was a lot of supposed... It wasn't like drugs and things like that, but because of the natural gases of the earth, you know, carbon monoxide,
Right.
methane, they weren't
getting
tripping
enough
their
oxygen.
brains out. Yeah.
So it was oxygen deprivation more than anything, I suppose.
Don't say any of that, Don. Don't say anything that just ran through your head. Infrasound monitoring equipment to assess the levels of sound vibrations below 20 hertz, which is thought to contribute to reports of paranormal activity. And that's actually the end of the list. So that's quite interesting.
That was kind of comprehensive, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually pretty darn.
Now,
good.
that's a curiosity. I wonder, I really believe that portals and vortexes are a naturally occurring phenomena for the most part, and I think they open and close all the time. In fact, I often wonder when we hear of reports of things like, and I've shared this before, so at the sake of being redundant, or at the risk of being redundant, I'm going to repeat it again. But when we hear reports of things like pterodactyls were witnessed, to me, nobody's finding pterodactyls dead. Nobody's finding big eggs that had hatched. Nobody's finding anything to do with these things.
Right.
And yet people are adamantly swearing that they're witnessing these really large creatures.
Right.
And so, again, when you're thinking of like Bigfoot or a dogman or something like that, they're intelligent. They know they don't want to be found. They know they don't want to be seen. So they actively choose our absence, and they choose to behave in such a way as to avoid us, seemingly at all costs, but sometimes they decide they don't care, and that's kind of an anomaly. But when you're talking about something like a pterodactyl, which has, probably about the same amount of gray matter as a mouse, or somewhere in there, this is not a high problem-solving kind of thing. It's gonna think, I have to eat. I have to, you know what I mean? I mean, even mice will avoid people, but for flying things, they figure if you can't touch them, then it's no problem.
Right.
They don't like do some complex problem solving. So why are we not having more witnesses of these things if they are indeed around? Because it would be incredibly hard not to see something like that. And some of the places they're seen are really populous places, like in urban areas. They're like, oh my God, I saw this huge, 20-foot wingspan pterodactyl looking thing.
Right.
And if they die, they're going to just fall. It's not like with Sasquatch and other hominids of that sort that they may bury their dead because it's a part of their ritual or that, whatever
It's their culture
protocols they might have established in their culture. Exactly. Or, even to continue to avoid detection,
Right.
That they may bury their dead because, bodies laying out stinking draw other things. And so, but pterodactyl is going to fall dead. It's going to fall dead. So what about if those were some of the anomalous things that appear due to vortexes or, these time-space portals that may or may not exist and open and close? Maybe they just get stuck and then at some point their presence here fades and they disappear again. I don't know. I just really think about these things an awful lot, and I can't for the life of me find a reason that more of them aren't found or seen, or
Right.
more evidence isn't gathered to that effect. But unless they're just here accidentally,
Right.
as a course of of some hiccup in time space.
Well, Duke says they're like barbecue to Bigfoots. They think they're yummy and they eat them.
The pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls and T-birds.
Oh, okay. That's a hell of a drumstick.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Henry VIII with a
Yeah,
pterodactyl?
I can imagine me with one of those.
God, yeah.
2 hands to hold it, but I'm gonna see what I can eat.
I'll smoke it up and barbecue it, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be on the grill.
That's right.
You got that big freezer, so it's
Yeah,
possible.
I know. Yeah, it's full.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to cook me something. You got to make room for the new stock. Time to rotate your stock, Don. Don makes the best ribs I think ever.
That's not true, but I appreciate
I really do. I seriously
I appreciate that.
He does a dry rub. It's just incredible. It is amazing.
I
So
like them dry rubs.
I liked it too. I have to admit, I didn't know what to expect, but you left me fat
You
and
know,
happy. So.
I smoked that pork shoulder the other day.
How'd that go, by the way?
Oh my god, it's divine.
Wow.
Smoked the crap out of it. It was so good. And then, of course, now I'm sick of smoked pork shoulder because I've had it for 3 days. It was like 10 pounds.
Oh, that's a lot.
I had to smoke it for like 4 hours, 5 hours. I was like, oh my. Glad I started early. Anyhow.
Well, you know, any leftovers are welcome.
It makes good
in the portal.
it makes good hash in the morning, though.
Oh, I'll bet it does.
You know, yeah. Some Paisley just told me that our audio is kind of all over the place tonight. So
Really, what is
Yeah.
she seeing or hearing, or what's going on?
She just says it's just all over. But the reason I say it is because Nick just mentioned it too. Yeah. Wow, the audio on my end just went low. So, but
Shella says she hears us
Yeah,
well.
well.
So that's just another weirdness
that's
that happens.
because I'm a loudspeaker.
MCAT says it is as well. I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah, you do have a loud voice.
Yes.
I have a quiet voice, and that's something I'm always battling with. It's
I
just
talk from the bottom of the lungs near the diaphragm.
all right. Well, you got that going for you. No, this is nothing really worth reading here.
Ooh.
What? Ooh, what?
No, that right there that you just had, the Chilean Navy.
We've already covered that, though.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the Chilean Navy one is old. I was just looking through here to see what. I'm just looking through this list of things, but it doesn't look. I did read the Bobby Brown one. I think that's the only reason I had this page open. So
You know, Duke says, what if some of these things find fossils? Some of these things we find fossils of aren't even from Earth, but things that wandered through portals and died here. Well, and that's what I was kind of alluding to, like the Hollow Earth kind of thing.
right. Yeah, I mean it's possible.
Yeah. Well,
Wow. Oh wow. This sounds pretty cool.
What's that?
This is kind of a ghosty one, but let me just see. This is from the Mirror. themirror.co.uk. It's a video, and I don't want to play the video, obviously, but it's. I think I can. If there's a still shot of it, maybe I can show it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There's the still shot.
Oh, you know what though? I think it's another cobweb, but it's a lot of.
Oh.
I'm going to read it though, and then we'll discuss that. That'll actually be a good point of discussion. So it says, "Mom spots ghost of great grand soothing her son on baby monitor." So Carrie Waterworth, 29, thought it was a spider on the camera in her son Ellis Gooch's. His name's Ellis Gooch. Room, but claims it was Peggy comforting the 5-year-old boy. It says a mom claims she spotted a ghost soothing the sleeping boy on a baby monitor, and said she thought it was a spider on the camera and rushed into her son's room. I'm not going to say that name again because it's so tragic. Ellis Gooch. Room to shoo it away before it scuttled onto his bed. But the mom was shocked when she realized there was nothing there and claims linear orbs reappeared on the monitor after she went downstairs. She has shared footage of what she claims appears to be a spectral arm stroking her 5-year-old Ellis's leg, tummy, and the top of his head before flying away. These are tough. And the reason why is because I'm pretty sure that 99% of these are just really misidentified. It says, Ellis, who has autism, becomes upset by any disruption in routine, but Carrie claims he appeared to be soothed and responded positively to the phantom hand on April 3rd. And you know, I really do hope that that's what's happening. I really do, because I think that's a beautiful thing. Full-time carer Carrie believes that it may have been the ghost of Ellis's great-grandmother, Elizabeth Peggy Gooch, 90, who was very close with the little boy before she passed away in 2016. Carrie from Lancashire said, I wasn't scared by it, more intrigued. I got a calming sense from the apparition, but I was slightly freaked out. So I'm going to put this on the screen. Let's see, I'm not going to read any more of it, but yeah, I'm going to put this on the screen so you guys can see what we're talking about here. And we'll get into this a little bit, what I think these things are. Okay, so here it is on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what you're seeing, is this image of what looks like a linear kind of object that's really nearly translucent, but not quite, or transparent, but not quite. And then it's down here on this image.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of those. When we first started doing our YouTube thing, we did some videos called evidence reviews. And they're still available on our channel. You got to kind of dig through different playlists.
You have to go through like 342 to get there.
Well, no, I think they're in their own playlist. So if you look at our
gotcha.
playlist, it's all organized and stuff, which is, I'm rather proud of myself for. But things like this, ladies and gentlemen, I think are really commonly misidentified. Excuse me.
Icebreaker.
What?
It says icebreaker. It's well, there goes my theory of cleansing. Unless it's not a negative spirit at all. But it just said icebreaker. The ghost box said icebreaker. So this image, to me, we see a lot of these videos floating around of these weird, wispy, almost like smoke-like things. And I'm pretty convinced that 99% of these are simply things like spider webs. Mm-hmm. Now, spiders are constantly creating webs and cutting down webs. So unless you have a home that's somehow free of all spiders, which I think is pretty much mathematically impossible, they're going to be cutting webs down all the time because they get ratty and goofy and they create new ones and whatever. I think what happens is that a spider web somehow becomes affixed somewhere near the camera as it's falling, or it just broke free for some reason from an existing web, and then they kind of bunch up because they're almost elastic. So they bunch up into these globs, and they're still attached at some point that's off camera. Now, I believe those, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a spider web, but it's some kind of item or matter that's somehow hung up near the camera. So it's close enough to pick up the IR light, so it's not so close that it's not being illuminated. It's far enough away that it's being illuminated by the IR assist lights, but it's close enough that it appears very translucent and wispy and ghost-like. And oftentimes on these footages, I'm going to have to be on the camera to do the hand motions, but oftentimes on these footages, you get this, like here's the view of the camera or whatever, and you'll see these things kind of coming down and moving around, and then they'll come back up, but they always have like a pendulum kind of swing to them, meaning that
they're connected on one end.
They have an affixed point that you can't quite see somewhere, but the motion is always the same. And so these spider webs or other matter of similar composition are so light that if you have any airflow in your house at all, a breeze, the most gentle of breeze, a furnace, a heater, a fan, even just passing bodies, if the kid moves, it could create an air current that's going to affect this and look like a ghostly hand or an arm coming into frame and soothing or look like it's petting the kid.
Right.
And honestly, I would love to think that this was really some grandmother coming to soothe her grandchild. I think that's a beautiful thing. But I think that, I just can't get there because they all seem to have the same kind of effect.
Right.
And so this one is probably affixed somewhere off on the right because it's here and then it's here. So it's dangling over here. And what may have happened, she came in to look, and by her very presence,
When she opened the door.
she opened the door or moved into the room and
Right.
created enough air current to blow it off of the frame.
Right.
And maybe it reappeared then again because it's still attached somewhere waving around. Now, I think it's important to at least examine these kind of things with, you've got to remove the obvious stuff that it could be. If you can remove all that and end up with still something that you're pretty convinced is paranormal, then you can share it because you've debunked what you can. Now, that doesn't mean it'll stand up to other people's scrutiny, but it's still, I think that's important. It is concerning to me sometimes the amount of willingness people have to believe that everything is a spirit.
Right. And not even look any deeper into it.
Right. And to me, what that does, and this is, it's because I'm very passionate about the field that I say this, but that kind of blind jump into belief mode, it doesn't serve to perpetuate the field at all because it becomes comical to people on the outside looking in going, oh my God, they believe everything's a ghost,
Right.
And so I think you have to remove the mundane before you can jump into the paranormal. I think that should just be a course of action for all of this stuff. I think that's important. So as much as I'd love to believe this grandmother was soothing her grandchild, who's suffering already from autism, it's a beautiful thought, but I just can't get there because, I would need so much more in an apparition to buy that it's an apparition.
Some more kind of manifestation of some type.
I need to see at least looks like a person, a thin trail of something wispy doesn't qualify necessarily, at least enough. Now, I guess it's good that they believe that. I mean, that's a beautiful thought, like I said, and if it helps her feel more comfortable in her home, then perfect. But I just think that's at least has to be considered, because just blindly going, oh, there's loved ones all around you, every time there's a lens flare.
Right.
And I think there are some very valid photos out there of orbs. But unfortunately, most of them tend to be, lens flares or other
Light
artifacts.
leaks,
Yeah.
Exactly. There was something mentioned in that, lineal orbs.
Yeah.
What's a lineal orb?
Well, I think they just mean orbs that were in a line, so they were linear in a fashion.
Right, gotcha.
So, but I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was interesting, and just share that idea that a lot of those I think are. So as you're seeing these videos, if you go on YouTube, you can see all kinds of ghost videos caught on baby monitors or security cameras and stuff, and there are some amazing ones out there. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some that are like, oh my God, like. I'm pretty convinced that they were indeed, but the most of them, if you watch them, looking for a motion that's more pendulum-like, looking for where it could be attached. If it does a repetitive motion back and forth, I just responded to a Reddit post today where somebody was posting that, oh, my mom or my cousin or grandma or somebody caught this in their basement on their security camera. Looks like a ghost. Yeah. Well, I mean, in basements are notorious, of course, for spiders and all kinds of crawlies, but you know what I mean? So I just responded in that fashion on there. I don't know if I got, booed and hissed or what, but I just think it's important.
I think we're close to time.
Close to time for the break?
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
The
2
time
minutes.
time moves strangely in the portal.
2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
2-minute warning.
It's a 2-minute warning, ladies and gentlemen.
The 2-minute warning?
Warning. Warnings. It's a warning. That's what your mother said last night.
Oh, Jesus. Kurt Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly. So,
no, but you've got to do your due diligence. You've got to, like you said, eliminate the mundane to get to the paranormal.
Right, exactly. And I think there's a lot to that. You do. At least if you're going to present something as what you believe is evidence of the paranormal, you should do that, because unfortunately, the internet is definitely not the place where you want to where you want to you let people see your proof,
Right.
without doing some thorough debunking, because people are ruthless on the internet, as
yes.
anybody knows. My God, they just there's people that can't wait for stuff like that to happen.
I know, they just troll.
Oh God,
troll.
they just when they find it, it's like you chum the waters.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they just come in frenzies, and then they post it to their hate groups or whatever. They hate paranormal groups, and then they come in droves and, oh, you're so stupid. Oh my God, you should just log off right now. Just delete your account. You're an idiot. I mean, it's just mad. There's just mad, social issues there. So you definitely don't want to put things out there that at least until you've removed every possibility you can think of, and then be ready to take criticisms
Right,
no
yeah.
matter what. I
Put
mean,
on
my
that
God.
extra layer of skin.
Yeah, you could, it doesn't matter what you post anymore anyway, because somebody's
You're
going to
gonna get
attack
flamed.
it. Yeah, somebody's going to attack it. I mean, that's just part of the game. But, you got to have thick skin if you're going to post things online. So
There it is.
there's the bell, ladies and gentlemen. The last break of the night, and we'll be back for the last half hour in just a couple minutes. So don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal.
welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal Portal. We're in our last half hour, and as we always say, the time bends differently in the portal. It has gone by quick tonight. I had some interesting conversation and talking about portals and Bobby Brown and all kinds of neat things. And there's been a huge, the chat rooms are just burning up tonight. It's been great. Thank you all for listening. We certainly appreciate it as we go into our last half hour. And just remember, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, so you know when we're on, which is like all the time. And that way you can always be with us because we love you.
Be with us.
Be with us.
Take us with you.
You were talking about ghostly soirees, which reminds me of that lady who supposedly married a 300-year-old pirate ghost. You remember that?
Yeah, now she wants a divorce.
Yeah, now she wants a divorce. I was like, you got to be joking me. What's going on here? Is he just not? Man, he's just MIA.
I guess he just doesn't show up enough or something. I don't know what's going on in that house.
Define show up.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just not manifesting enough for me.
Yeah, I know, but that's a divorce you don't want to go sideways.
I
That's
feel
all
like
I'm
I
saying.
live with a ghost in this house. Really?
Couldn't be more truer words spoken.
Oh, hey, Paisley last night on her show mentioned that she saw something the other day. Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick.
Okay.
She said the other day, oh, those are hairless cats. That's funny. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But she described it as a quadruped, so 4 feet tall at the shoulder. She said it was dark through the body, but a white face, and it came up the driveway from the southwest corner. Now, wait a minute. How does it come up? Okay. Anyhow.
I thought she said it kind of came up the hill towards the driveway. Well, pull it up. Read it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find it. I got to find Paisley's page. Paisley Wild.
Let's just read it. It's kind of a cryptid report, ladies and gentlemen.
Is, yeah.
And as far as Don and I are concerned, we don't really readily know what she's describing.
What to think. Yeah. Okay, here
but
it
we'll
is.
put it out there to you guys because we got some pros in the audience tonight. So
Yeah, we do. We got a few of them.
Yeah.
It says, I had an odd thing happen the other day. Excuse me. A creature ran up the hill to the southwest of my house. It was structured a bit like a sloth, long legs compared to the torso. It probably stood 4 feet at the shoulder and was completely black with a white face. I could not see any features when it glanced at me before loping off down the driveway. My dogs completely freaked out, and it was just after twilight. Wonder what it could have been. So, there you go.
Wow.
So that's creepy.
So we'll put it out there to you guys,
Wow.
those of you in the chat on YouTube especially. We've got some pros out there. So any creature you know of.
What is a pet gibbon, Randall?
Oh, well, a gibbon is like a little monkey, of course. They do have a white face, but they're
gibbon,
black.
yeah. But not 4 foot tall and 4 legged.
No, they're usually pretty small. I
Yeah.
mean, they're I don't know.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're foot and a half.
Yeah, that's about as big as they are. So it'd be like, but it was quadrupedal, and had a loping motion. She said loping.
You're loping down the hill,
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
That's
interesting.
strange. So what kind of cryptid could that be, ladies and gentlemen? Those of you in the chat room, like Duke, perhaps?
Yeah.
Shell? Have you heard of any cryptid that matches that description?
Oh, and by the way, have we given out the phone number?
The phone number is 720-923-0500.
0500.
It's right here on the screen. If you look above my finger pointing.
No ears or tails reported, Shell.
Okay.
What are about 3 feet long? A disabled Sasquatch. Probably. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now here's the thing, though. A 4 foot tall at the shoulders is a very big animal.
Quadruped,
yeah, it's a very big quadruped. So if this were something that could be bipedal or quadrupedal, that's a pretty significant size. I mean, that's like really large wolf size anyway. Oh, no, that's...
Don't
like-
say that, Shell.
What'd she say?
She said a juvie wolf people. Well, now a wolf people would be okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that it made eye contact with her.
Yeah, she said it looked up at her. Yeah.
Right. So, but it didn't seem alarmed or anything.
No, it's like, part of the the landscape.
Like, hey, just cutting through your yard. Got to get back to the family. But hope you're having a good night.
Hey, yeah, wave as you go through. Hey,
Yeah,
nice to
that's
see
strange.
you, weirdo.
Very, very bizarre. But that's something we're that's in our region here. So we should probably check that out.
God.
A disabled Sasquatch. Yeah, you never know, Asher. That might be. It's very different, though. The white face part is very different. That doesn't make... it certainly doesn't fall into the normal category of any known cryptids that I'm aware of.
Well,
with the black body and white
Shell's
face.
saying wolf people.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
She said she took a picture of a white-faced, dark-bodied wolf creature tonight.
Oh, really? Okay.
Interesting.
That's wild. I didn't know that that's how they looked. I just always assumed that they would look dark.
There was no facial features. She didn't say anything about snouts or anything like that. She just said it was just white-faced.
Yeah. And and I do have that gibbon kind of thing in my mind, but I don't know. We'll definitely have to talk to Paisley at length and see if she can really pull some more detail out of that. But yeah, what a wild thing.
Huh.
And it was, that's just got to be a little uncomfortable to know that that's hanging out around the house. I don't know where she lives for sure, but I don't know exactly anyway. But I know she's right in the area here. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yikes. Very wild. Yeah, so that's current events, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Weird and wacky stuff from the north of Idaho.
Yeah, that's just a lake, I'm telling you.
Randall says it's a peeping Tom. Wow.
He wasn't real discreet then.
No, not really. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for letting me peep.
Yeah, just peeped and head down the driveway. I think he's got the wrong idea.
Yeah, no doubt.
For the peeping Tom. There's usually much more at the end game on that, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm just looking. What else do I have? Oh, my page.
Oh, snap.
Failed. Oh, snap. Chrome's giving me a bunch of hell tonight. Okay, so I wanted to see. All right, so this is interesting. This is coming from the express.co.uk, allegedly. It might be a clickbait ad for my luck. No, it is. NASA shock, ladies and gentlemen. It says...
This is the moment.
Geez,
it's going to seem very claustrophobic.
Oh, I hate these damn...
People panic.
Stop.
Pop-up advertisements.
Oh, click, you son of a... All right, NASA shock. Is the moon about to collapse? Science is backing the Bible preacher's claims. NASA's shocking revelation, the moon is shrinking like a raisin, has sparked doomsday concerns among militant Christians. The moon and the world are about to collapse. Wow, this is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Space agency NASA has spectacularly revealed this week the moon's cooling core has caused its surface to shrink and crack over millions of years. The incredible lunar process, which triggers earthquakes on the moon, was described on May 13th in the journal Nature Geosciences. However, the discovery was met with a sense of trepidation by Christian evangelists who believe it is a prophetic sign of the end times.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. One of these evangelists is doomsday preacher Paul Begley from West Lafayette in Indiana. Wow. Speaking to an online audience via YouTube live stream, the firebrand preacher. Great. That's awesome.
Hellfire brimstone.
Warned scientists are catching on to biblical prophecy of the apocalypse. Pastor Begley said there was a report out yesterday the moon is shrinking. Inside the moon is like a raisin. They're saying that the moon is starting to shrink like a raisin shrinks. That internally, the core of the moon, something is going on there. Well, there you have it. Is the moon about to collapse? What does that mean? The Bible says there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And they say, don't believe in astrology. Huh. The signs the Pastor Begley referred to are supposedly forewarnings of the end times outlined in Luke 21:25 through 28. The biblical passage in question reads, there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Wow, it's just what I just read. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint in terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time, they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to take place, stand up and lift your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. Well, that's interesting. So that's Pastor Begley's take on it. Now, the thing with that kind of stuff is that it doesn't seem to matter what's going on ever since the time of Christ. Every century, the end of the centuries has always been, the end is near. The end is near. And, I'm not, taking away from that faith. And, perhaps there's something to it. I don't know. I don't pretend to know.
Right.
I'm not qualified to respond to that in any other way than to say, I just don't know. But for all of the signs and seasons and prophecy that's been delivered since the time of Christ, I would be a little hesitant to jump on board with that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, people do ridiculous things when they think that their end is drawing near. So don't quite sell the house yet, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go on that vacation or just yet. Because
don't be caught out.
Don't blow the savings on,
Don't bird box it.
I don't even know what bird box means. What's
You
bird
haven't
box?
seen that movie yet? Bird Box with
I got
Sandra Bullock?
nothing. No.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe so anyway. But
You'd remember it. It was dumb as well.
Okay.
People were disappointed because it's not a scary movie. Well,
was that the one that was where they had to be quiet or whatever?
No, it was the one where they had to be blindfolded.
Blindfolded. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah. No, I just saw parts of it. And, the Mrs. Portal watched it, and I think she enjoyed it. But I thought it was creepy and weird, and I don't know what the hell they were seeing, but it was pretty terrible apparently. Here's another great one. This one I think we can probably put up there.
Ooh.
Oh no, it's a video. Damn it!
Oh, dang it!
I
know. When you,
I love the YouTube generation, but it's like
everything. The first 10 are all YouTube videos. It's like,
I know.
Oh, God damn it.
I know. Okay, so here's one I think I can talk about, and this one has to do with. This is again from the express.co.uk, ladies and gentlemen.
Every day, visionaries are creating.
And it's got a pop that bad.
Scared the hell out of
So
me.
every day we put our latest.
Let me do that while I. Oh, it closed itself. Sweet. Oh, it came back up again. I got it muted though. Hold on. All right. I think I got it shut up now. So this one sounds pretty cool. It's time travel proof, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Time traveler from 2075 warns of great flood crippling Los Angeles.
Yes. That's horrible.
Unless you live in Los Angeles, then we love you and would rather this didn't happen to you. If you're listening to the show, obviously we love you, and we don't want any horrible
Head to the high ground.
Yeah, buy real estate a little higher.
Just don't go to Beverly Hills.
Stay out of the valleys. All right, so let's see. It's self-titled time traveler from the year 2075 has bizarrely claimed a great flood will wipe out Los Angeles in just 43 years. It says the supposed time traveler hidden behind the safety of a blurred face has warned of natural cataclysms in the near future. The time traveler, who goes up by the name of Casper with a K, claims to be from the year 2075, and Casper appeared online in a highly unusual confession tape of sorts to share warnings and revelations about the future. The time traveler's most shocking admission was the destruction of Los Angeles, California in the year 2063. So it was pretty recent to when he was from, apparently. Speaking to, excuse me, hold on. Speaking to the, oh man, hold on.
Okay, shout out to OCG. She's like, oh, you're rude. Like, whoops, sorry. Orange County is
yeah.
in.
I know it is. Why are we rude? What's going on?
Because we're talking about LA just flooding.
Oh.
She's
She's an Orange County girl. Sorry, I'm a little short out of the gate here, but Time Traveler, he was on Apex TV channel. Let me see, where is it? Speaking to the YouTube channel Apex TV, APEX TV, so you can check it out there, ladies and gentlemen. The Time Traveler said shocking things are going to happen in the future. I'm going to share with you one of the most shocking things that you will see or you will have ever heard of before. And you will be absolutely shocked at the information I'm going to give you. There's a lot of shocking going on here. According to the doubtful time traveler's testimony, time travel technology will be revealed to the public in the year 2028. Well, I hope they manage to get everybody out then, since they could go back before that and go, hey, move. Then
hey, next time you come back, bring me a sports almanac.
Yeah, there you go. Then in the same year, the world governments will reveal to the public the existence of extraterrestrial aliens.
Wow.
What the hell is that?
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
All right. Casper said these are shocking details that are going to happen in the future. So in the future, I was sent back to the year 2019 on the public mission to collect data about the past. You think they don't know it? It's only a little while away. It's not like it's 2300 or something. It's like he's this great archivist. He came back 50 years. Oh, that's just stupid. Because you can go to the past and you can see certain details, and you can read about past and watch videos talking about the past. However, it takes actually going to the past to get the desired information so we can fill in the details. I don't know what you'd have to come back for. Everything's online. And I came back to the past with video cameras, with photography equipment, 3D scanners, sonar equipment, and all of this equipment that helps me map out the past.
Wow.
And we're sent back for specific missions. And I'm here in Los Angeles, California, to map out a specific thing that I cannot get into the details of. Okay, well, there you have it. Los Angeles will be the epicenter of a disastrous flood in just 43 years, according to Casper. The time traveler said, I'm in Los Angeles, California, because very shocking detail is going to happen in the city. Yeah, we covered that. There's going to be a major flood. This happens around the year 2063. What do you mean around? You should know.
It should be able to winnow it down to at least a date and a time. Come on.
It's like 8 years from when he came back. There's a major flood in Los Angeles, California, is underwater in the year 2063. However, many of the people who saw the time traveler's confession tape were not convinced. What?
Oh, gee,
really?
Oh, gosh. Skepticism?
Whoa. What does it take? Jeez. All right. One person commented on YouTube, I feel bad for people that completely believe everything these time travelers say. And it says, another person, Orlando Rodriguez, said, give me bottom numbers and I'll believe you. I don't know what bottom numbers
mean. What does that mean?
I don't know. Richard Franco, too much blah, blah, just predict. Even just a little happening, that is sooner. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's actually supposed to be lotto numbers. Give me lotto numbers.
It says bottom numbers.
Yeah, well.
Okay. And user Chocolate Shogun. I love these names. Guess it's too much to ask for you to send back a scholar or something. And they seem to just be handing out time travel day passes to just about anyone.
They're going to bring back Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. Oh, yeah, party on. Excellent.
Dude.
Yeah, whoa. Look at this outfit, though. That's just...
I know.
That's just...
It's like lavender, or
I don't know. He might
red lame.
I think he's from the 60s. He's maybe a 70s child, but I'm gonna put it up on screen so you guys can appreciate the future beauty that's at work here.
That is
apparently there's no taste in the future.
Couture.
There's not a lot of taste in the future, ladies and gentlemen. These are clearly advanced fabrics that
They resist space-time fluctuations.
they resist fashion and are in completely poor taste. What is that? A Hugh Hefner smoking jacket? What the hell?
Wow.
I don't know. And yeah. Oh man.
Wow.
He says things like, "I shall start by telling you about myself." Who talks like that? Apparently people from the future do. Anyway, so that's going on, apparently. So you got some time, Orange County girl. You got time.
You got time, yeah.
No-
She says she has her floaties, so she'll be all right.
Just a houseboat. You're probably fine.
There you go.
Move onto the dock or something. You're good. I don't know. Wow.
Houseboat.
Yeah. So that's incredible. That's incredible. So, yeah, that's about all this article has.
wow.
Interesting, though. I think these things, at the very least, they're humorous.
You know, Art Bell always talked about how if he could do one thing in the paranormal, supernatural, whatever, he said he'd always wanted time travel. He was really into time travel
sure.
and, that kind of thing. And he, I can't remember the time traveler's name. Oh, well, he was the one that took John, the time traveler, John Teeter. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's where that came from. Right. I remember that.
John
yeah.
Titor.
So,
Yep.
and he always thought that was the coolest. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, my God, who wouldn't? Wouldn't it be cool to go to some historic events and watch them firsthand?
Yeah.
I mean, if you knew you're going to be safe,
Lay
and you
down
knew
a few
everything's-
bucks and come back.
you got to get a few bucks first. You'd have to, I suppose you can.
All you would actually have to do is travel back a few years, grab some gold, and when it was cheap, and come on back. You'll be rich.
But what would you buy it with?
Who cares? You could steal it and come back. You could time travel. You could probably time travel to any place you want. It's like, okay, well, here's this. The Fed vault has been in the same spot for 50 years.
Yeah, well, that's true, but it's been guarded by other feds. But
Yeah, but if you can get inside the vault without having to open the door, who cares?
yeah, Regla's in TFR, and she said the John Teeter story rocked her world, and it was just a brilliant story. I don't know whatever came of that. I know Chris and Cherie had someone on their show about 2 years ago that claimed to be that John Teeter.
Really?
Yeah, and it's in the TFR archives. You can check it out for sure. But very interesting. Apparently, he's still around somewhere, or has come back again, or I don't know what to think of that.
He
but
never really left. He's just
is he stuck?
No, he never really left because everything is happening right now. It's that singularity.
Non-Euclidean space
There
time.
you go.
Ooh,
Non-Euclidean.
that's right. Could be. That's my belief. Actually, is that all time is happening simultaneously, from the Big Bang to the final implosion of it all and everything in between. And it's just our awareness that moves, and we perceive it as time.
Asher says we only need 88 miles an hour.
That's right. And a DeLorean
And
with a
a
flux
DeLorean
capacitor.
with a flux capacitor.
You gotta have a flux capacitor, apparently. I've tried the 88 miles an hour, and I didn't go anywhere except almost to jail. No, thank you. I'm here all night.
Actually, it looks like we've only got a few minutes left.
I know. It's just a
It's not even a few.
$1.54.
Wow.
$1.50 is
It's a
all
buck
that's
and a
left.
half, and we got to go. Well, it's certainly been a great show tonight. That is some mayhem right there.
It is.
It's
It's
some great mayhem.
the show is going well when we just suddenly start and then we're hitting a break.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, how'd that happen? And it's funny because when I first started doing this show, man, a half hour felt like forever.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really did. I was like, oh man, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
How am I going to talk about this stuff and make it last?
Well, that's like Paisley's show. She's like, God, that was such a hard hour. I was like, are you going to
told
start
her.
your show?
I told her, I said,
Did we already
whatever
do
you
this?
do, whatever you do, pull up about 3 times as much
Yeah.
material as you think you need, because once that on-air sign comes, you're going to panic read right through it in 5 minutes. And what did she do?
She panic read right through the. She certainly did, but she did a great job.
Oh no, she's
It's-
done brilliantly.
It's just friggin' hilarious. She goes, God, that was a long hour. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I
Where'd the hour go?
Yeah, exactly. And that's just what we run into. So we're doing
All
2
right.
hours. And it flies by, ladies and gentlemen. So, all right. Well, anything in closing, Don?
Thank you. Catch us on the podcast 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Anywhere you get your podcasts.
That's where we'll be. We'll be waiting for you there. I guess I'll be back tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, with the bedtime stories. And there'll be another podcast dropping on Monday. So make sure you get subscribed to us. We love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And if you're on TFRI, Heart Tune In, and TalkStream Live, stick around. Jimmy Jean's coming up next, so don't miss that. All right, love you guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Woo!